dirty side gets technical. We may not know everything, but our stuff almost always works sometimes.
What up? Dirty side gets down. Up in here. Instead of telling you we're doing something a little different this time, I'm just going to tell you, if you want to watch a YouTube channel and have no idea what to expect on any episode, subscribe to this channel. So today, behind me, you can see it's a 2000 Nissan Xterra, something like that. Long story short, picked it up for free, doesn't run. Previous owner doesn't really know why, it just stopped, messed with it a little bit, never got it going again. It's, you know, not the prettiest thing in existence, but the body's pretty clean, other than needing paint. Four-wheel drive, manual transmission. It's kind of an oddball, you don't see those that much. First thing we're gonna do is stick a battery in it, just kind of see what we get. And I bring that up because I want to show you something. So as the label implies, we were pretty certain this battery was dead, but picked up this charger recently and it seems to have saved it. So we're gonna see in this video, and if it works out well, I'm gonna put a link in the description for it. If it doesn't, I wouldn't necessarily blame the charger because we thought the battery was no good anyway. And I've got another battery to throw in there just in case. So let's go see how it did. This isn't the greatest idea. We're using jumper cables instead of actually installing the battery because the battery actually came out of an airplane and doesn't connect. Alright, so everything on the dash lights up. I can hear the fuel pump running. Let's just see what we get. That's basically nothing. But it's a good sign for that battery charger because that dead battery is now spinning this engine over. So we'll hook up the scanner and see what it shows and go from there. So we got a P1320 code. Kind of sounds like a drag racing code to me, 1320. Just a quick look on the Googles here says that it could be an ignition coil, wiring to the coil, the crankshaft position sensor. So we can check real quick for an RPM signal. If we have that, crank position sensor is good. And then we know we just start looking at the coil. So let's see what scanner shows live data for the cranking. Well, it's too hard to show you with the glare on the scanner, but it's reading RPM. So I think our crank position sensor is good. I think now it's time to check into that coil and see what we get. Now the coil's just made into the distributor. My gut feeling was to maybe just put a distributor in it anyway because you can get them on Amazon for like $65. So glad I left the camera running all that time for no reason. Hopefully there's some good bloopers in there we'll throw in at the end of this. The first thing I want to check is power going to the coil. Yeah, we got plenty of power there. So let's own the coil itself. And we got connection there, but there's no connection there. That seems like our culprit. I got a bad coil. I'll check down to O'Reilly's to see if they have one, and we'll move forward with this video. Well, unfortunately, we can't get a hold of a coil or distributor today. So, found one on Amazon, $66. Be here tomorrow. And we'll continue this video. But while we're waiting, I just want to go over this real quick. I got this charger on Amazon. I think it was like $75. And I was a little hesitant because it's a lot more than some of the others out there, and I know they work, but you know, you get what you pay for, and they work fine for a while. But the build quality of this just seems really solid, and it has a repair feature that apparently zapped the battery. I'm no electronics person, but quick pulses of electricity to clean the plates in the battery apparently, and seems to work on that battery that was kaput. It's spinning that engine over in that Xterra. So I'll put a link in the description. You definitely want to get yourself one of these. They do a great job. All right, it's the next day. Amazon came through with the new distributor. So we're gonna pop this in and see if this fixes the problem. I'm hoping it does. One thing I'm gonna do to keep this simple is just swap and use the old cap I'm sure the cap isn't the reason this engine doesn't run. And if we find later that the cap is part of the problem, then we'll swap it. But I'm sure if the coil is the issue, then the old cap's gonna be fine. Now, normally I would say put the engine on top dead center. Be sure that you're pointing just before the number 1 plug wire. But this is a pretty simple 1 bolt. Pull this out. I can see where the rotor's pointing. I can point the new rotor in the same spot. And we're gonna be close enough to fire at least. We can sort it out with the timing light. There's a little bit of adjustment. The one thing you want to do too is put a little oil on your O-ring. I usually just find it somewhere like this. All right, distributor's in. Let's see what happens. Well, that didn't seem to work, so let's check it for spark and see what we get. Oh, we're definitely getting spark. It's gotta be fuel. We'll give it a little artificial fire juice and see what happens. Well, that tells us we're just not getting fuel, so I think we're about narrowed it down here. So I'm thinking sitting for a long time, the fuel pump got stuck. All right, so I'm sure you guys are aware of all the product shortages and shipping times and back orders and all that stuff. It's my day job. I deal with it all day long, and I deal with it when I buy stuff too. So I had a pump just laying around here, not really sure what it was for. Kind of cobbled it together and made it work in this thing. Need to be able to move this thing around. We got other projects to get to. You're gonna see that soon. So let's see if we can get this thing fired up now that we've got some fuel pressure. I think I hear the pump. So we'll cycle it a couple times just to get some fuel up to the engine because the line was empty. Fire in the hole. Look at that. We got a running Xterra, $65 distributor and a $20 fuel pump. So just pulled the Xterra out under its own power. Seems to be running pretty good. That's a plus that this thing's 4-wheel drive because the next project is in the backyard. It's been raining like crazy and we're gonna need it. So let's get that thing around here. In the next episode, we'll get started on it. So we're gonna use this to pull the next one around. Hopefully you guys like it. It's different than everything else you've seen so far. It's a 1995 BMW M3. Right now it's 100% stock. So the plan is about 500 horsepower with a turbo. That's going to do it for this episode of Dirty Side Gets Down. Glad to see you made it all the way to the end and get that watch time up. Be sure to keep an eye out for the next video. We'll be working on the M3, something a lot different for this channel than what you've seen already, but it's not real different for the kind of stuff I do in my life. We're working on everything from CJ7 Jeeps to twin turbo Nova, turbo Hondas, held a Honda horsepower record for a short time. So this M3 is nothing new. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. We gotta get the subscriber numbers up, get that watch time up. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.